Welcome to Divorce Diaries Show podcast. My name is Michelle Trina, and I am the host and creator of Divorce Diaries Show. And guess what, guys? Divorce sucks. Laugh a little. Yes, this mug is from the Divorce outlet. Shout out to them. They brought me some merch, some t-shirts, and some. This mug is my favorite, by the way. I'll bring out the merch in a second, but the other merch, the other two t-shirts, which I love. Welcome. It is Thursday. I'm recording a little late because I have some news. I've been distracted by a few things this morning. One being this casting that I'm on. Like, I'm being considered for a reality show. And that distracted me a little bit. And then I was talking to my filming partner with What's Up New York, Lewis, shout out to you, talking about mics, because I am refreshing the podcast. I'm refreshing a lot of things, refreshing, and I don't want to say rebranding. I just want to sit on how I make Divorce Diaries fresher and better and even more of a hot mess of myself. Everybody has to do that with their business, right? Just like, look, Dunkin' Donuts went from Dunkin' Donuts to Dunkin'. So now I'm not losing anything with the name, but like I want to refresh everything a little bit. I want to see what's working, what's not, how do I move, how I pivot, what do I really love the most about this journey right now. And I do want to shift the podcast a little differently. I love sharing with you guys my unfiltered diary, right? I love talking about what's going on in my life. But lately I've been feeling like I'm not, in all honesty, I feel like I'm feeling a little stale. Whereas, like, I want to talk about the lack of men in my life because the dating part sucks. I want to talk about the journey of getting an investor for the TV series or finding a home for the TV series, filming the TV series. I want to talk about being a single mom and how hard it is. But I also feel like there's other components about that I want to introduce more to the podcast, like more comedy and more about like people that I really want to interview and pick their brain. So we're still gonna do mini episodes where you just hear from me and my journey, but I'm reshifting, regrouping, resetting the podcast, and this will be the last episode till July, where I do a new launch of the podcast. I'm really excited. I want to know from you, what do you love about the podcast? What do you love hearing about? And what do you want to hear less of? And don't be one of my exes and say, stop talking about me. Well, I mean, you can, I guess. I guess I deserve that, right? I've been also dealing with that too, about like, there was that baseball player that I met a couple of weeks ago at a show. And, you know, he thought I was cute and wanted to talk to me. And that's what the booker told me. And then if you listen to my last episode, when we did start talking, he dipped out like right away, the conversation, not right away. He pretended like he was going to come back to the conversation, never did. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Then I found out from the booker who introduced me that the guy parties a lot and was doing a lot of coke. And I don't know if that's, I mean, it could be true, it couldn't be true. I don't freaking know. The guy does seem like he parties a lot from the text threads that I got and his voice threads. He sounds like he's not all there. He was cute, but again, I don't know. I talked with him for 20 seconds. So I did an episode, a mini episode. Now that guy probably does not like that I share about him, but I don't fucking know him. And you know what? You kind of acted like a toolbox. And you know what? You could say the same thing about me because I'm talking about you. I don't give a fuck. But there are people that I do give a fuck about, like people in my life that I don't, if they don't want me to share something, I won't. That may be in the future. I don't know. So but I also don't want to lose myself and like reshifting just to make everybody else happy. Does that make sense? Not happy. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm in a place where I'm contemplating a lot. That's where I'm at today. Contemplating and trying to figure out, where do I go from here? What will be the best move for me as a comedian, a host, an actor, a writer, a mom, you know. My daughter means the world to me, and this casting for this reality show, I would be gone away for 4 weeks at least. And you know, I've been doing extras. My daughter wants to snuggle at night. Mommy, snuggle, like she's been doing that extra this last couple of weeks. And like to the point where I can't leave the room. And I have been upset. Like, how would I actually leave for that amount of time? I would have to talk with her every day, if not all the time. And I'm supposed to be alone on a desert island or something. They won't even let us know. I cannot do that. I cannot talk to my kid daily. Like, that would have to be in my contract. And I don't know if they would allow that. So I don't know. I don't know if I should like tell them right now I can't do this, or should I like take me out of the running of the casting, or wait till I actually get offered a contract. I would do it in a freaking heartbeat, but I have my daughter here. Like, I need to do a reality show that's filming here, or at least filming for a week or two, and then I come back home. So I don't know. That I'm contemplating. I also feel like I do need to be out in the woods or in a desert island by myself for a little bit to kind of regroup on my self-love. I don't know. And then I also feel, I think I did a podcast episode a couple of weeks ago about being lost a little bit. I kind of am still feeling like I am still at square one, not complete square. Now, listen, I got divorced 8 years ago. I'm not at square one, but I don't have a significant other. And I thought by the time I was 40, I would have a significant other, possibly have another kid, possibly be owning my own home. And I don't have those things, but what I have, I do believe is better. Even though, even though I would love to have more money and own a home, I have this journey that I thought I was never going to get back on. I took such a different road in my mid-20s by getting married to somebody that I knew deep down in my heart wasn't what I thought I'd get married, who I'd get married to, but I thought, oh, this okay. And I'm back on that road again, and it feels great. Even though I'm, there's times where I'm like stressed about money, it still feels really great. I'm back on that road. It feels like I'm getting closer and closer to the next, I don't want to say the finish line, but the next finish line, because there's always like, we start in these new journeys and these new paths. And I feel like, the happiness gets expanded upon when I keep doing what I love, and focusing on, with acting and comedy, what actually does fulfill me and how it serves a purpose to other people. Like, I bash the guys that I meet if they misbehave or if I don't like something. That's not, look, nobody has to agree with me that that's healthy or not healthy or whatever, but I think that if a person really hurts me and I want to use comedy to heal or my podcast to heal, I have every right to do that. It's a First Amendment. Now, I don't have a say in whether they'd want to talk to me or not, or if they would agree, or and then I do feel bad. I'm like, oh, I don't want them to hate me, but then Michelle, this is what you do. So like, I'm trying to also get on the side of the fence where I have to just commit to, like, this is what the ramifications may be if you decide to share, because you're sharing, not decide, because you're sharing about your personal life. But I know that the best decision for what I want is to revamp this podcast and some other elements of Divorce Diaries. And that doesn't mean it's going to be a huge shift. I'm just looking to get like lavalier mics, bring on guests that I really want to interview for the purpose of comedy and the world of TV and filmmaking and divorce, and how they're, how they move, and what I want to pick their brain, and how we can make you laugh more and all of us laugh more. That's a big part of it. I am performing in New York City on June 4th, which is this Sunday. So if you're listening to this after June 4th, go check my website for more dates, because I'll be in Richmond, Virginia in August, and Boston. And I'm possibly going to be in Texas in July, working on that right now. Hope that we have more news about that. Okay. Ooh, child. And then I just got an audition, guys. Woo woo. Okay. It's time for an audition break. All right, so I'm going to move over here to see if there's better light. See, this is another thing we're going to work out with the podcast, is better lighting. Maybe I need to just move my space over a little bit, but yeah, I got an audition. Let's hope I book it. Although I've noticed I noticed, see, this, the casting person is now texting me again, and I love her, but this is getting out of hand. I've been on auditions in castings where it's a one interview and then you don't hear back from them. This is like, I mean, maybe now I know how the guys that I date feel. No, I haven't dated a guy in so long. It's ridiculous. What else is going on? Memorial Day weekend just happened, and I'm really, really the only divorced person in my family. I really am. If it's weird, and it's like part of me doesn't care. Part of me is like, God, this is depressing. Even the family, even my brothers, my older brother's friends that were coming to the barbecue, like they're all married. Like nobody is single, and that's fine. But like, y'all can't be happy. No, I'm kidding. No, it's just funny. Like I'm just now this forever single lady that is going to be the mom who's divorced and single. I'm happy with it. I'm also just like the backyard right now. I'm kind of full of weeds in my internal self that I need to get rid of to feel better about where I'm at with love, which is in a bad place. I don't know. I don't want to go on I was thinking of going on a dating app to just get my mind in a weirder, different place. And then I'm like, no, that's just gonna like distract me from everything else I'm trying to do. Okay. This lady is still texting me and it's driving me nuts. I love her, but like I keep saying I love her. I don't know her, but it's like, oh my God. Okay. So let's see if I continue on with this casting process for the reality show. The other reality show I was being considered for, the Love docuseries, they have now released so many casting notices for that show. They're literally looking for any human being that's looking for love, even if they found love, like a squirrel who has been bitten by a rabid raccoon who's trying to find love and now lives in the basement of a 95-year-old drug dealer. That's like what, that's how many castings they've put out for that show. And I messaged the casting director yesterday and was like, hey, what's going on with the docuseries? She's like, the network hasn't made any choices yet. I was so close to saying, why are there so many castings for it? I didn't. So with that said, this is where I'm at. I'm like, I want to be on a show that's filming nearby or filming in LA. I can act, I can do comedy. If it's a reality show, find me love because I want love. But other than that, like this is getting out of hand. Being alone on a deserted island when you have an 11-year-old at home, I probably should have said no at the gate, but I'm a little hungry for work here. With that said, come to see me live this Sunday. Divorce Diaries will be at Broadway Comedy Club. I hope that you come see me and we'll laugh together and we'll talk about it. And if you're following What's Up New York on ny2c.com, apparently the first episode airs today. Still haven't seen it yet. I'm very excited. Keep following me. Email me, divorcediariesshow@gmail.com. If you have like, what do you really love about this podcast? What do you want to hear more of? What's missing from it, you think, for you from tuning into it? And that's it. We're going to go from there. I'm going to relaunch the podcast in July. So when you're sitting by the pool or the beach, you're going to tune in to the new Divorce Diaries Show podcast. It'll still be available here and on my YouTube channel. I don't think I'm going to like switch platforms. I think that might be confusing. And I just want I want myself to feel like it's growing too. Like right now it feels like it's just been stagnant with listeners and views. And I'm feeling a little down about a few things with the men in my life and how it relates to the podcast. So it's time for a makeover. All right, guys, I love you. Stay tuned for more. Follow me, divorcediariesshow.com. And don't forget to always check out that Amazon Prime special that's streaming now. Love you guys and keep living your happily divorced ever after.